Now, we all know that if creepy things were cookies, then Japan would be morbidly rotund. However, the other parts of Asia have quite a bit of chub on them in that regard as well. Today, we shall delve into 10 creepy and macabre myths from all over Asia. Except Japan, they already had their turn. Number 10. Just above the South Korean capital of Seoul, there lies a strip of highway that connects Paju to Goyang. This is Jeolloro, renowned for being very foggy and the numerous vehicular collisions that the fog is known to cause. Renowned for being particularly foggy and the numerous vehicular collisions that the fog is known to cause. Many people believe that this is the work of supernatural spirits, some even claiming to have seen a young woman who at first appears to be donning a pair of sunglasses. It's only once they get a closer look that the doomed drivers notice that she isn't wearing sunglasses to cover her eyes, but rather that she has no eyes for them to cover. Number 9. Lotus Pond. This horrific urban legend begins as all good ones do, with a boy and a girl falling deeply in love. The lovebirds had agreed to meet at Lotus Pond at the stroke of midnight. The girl arrived early and waited for hours. As time passed, she grew impatient and walked back to her dormitory. On her way there, she witnessed her significant other talking to another woman. Distraught with sadness and rage, feeling betrayed by him, she hurled herself into Lotus Pond. It is there that she died. After a period of time, another couple had agreed to meet at Lotus Pond. However, the boy had arrived earlier than intended. Hearing a voice call out to him from the water, asking, "Didn't we agree to meet at midnight?" The boy answered no. This was not the answer the voice was seeking, and a pair of ghostly hands grabbed the youth and pulled him into a deep, watery grave. Now, just a show of hands, who here is fancying a bit of a dip? Number 8. Heading back to Korea, this is possibly the most frightening urban legend of them all. Not because it involves a particularly terrifying spook or specter, but because this is far closer to reality than most might think. This is a very recent legend that over time has been spread by many websites and social media platforms. The rumor is that some not-so-kind folks disguised as taxicab drivers are drugging unsuspecting passengers, harvesting their organs and dumping their bodies in abandoned places. The rumor is that some not-so-kind folks masquerading as taxicab drivers are drugging unsuspecting passengers, harvesting their organs and dumping their bodies in abandoned places. What makes this one so particularly frightening is just how it could happen to anyone. Even you. Yes, you at the computer. No, not you. The hot one beside you. That's the one. Number 7. Namco Terrace. This one is a touch more obscure than the rest on the list. In the city of Hong Kong there lies Namco Terrace, a building of which, despite the city's lack of residential space, remains entirely abandoned. The building was owned by a very wealthy family, who during the Japanese invasion during World War II were forced to flee from their home. The Japanese took refuge here, using it for their own twisted, perverse needs. Some even say that this building housed sexual slaves at one point. Connecting to that, it is also said that the spirits of these slaves still haunt the building. In the 1960s, it was reported that after an attempted exorcism on the building, a young girl had charged out of the house and violently assaulted a group of police officers. It's thought that people who enter the building looking for supernatural stimulation often hear ear-piercing shrieks and see visions of a decapitated woman soaked in blood. Number 6. Fan death. Was that hammy voice a little too much? Okay, then I'll tone it down a bit. Well, you see, in Korea, it's believed that leaving a fan on while you sleep can suck away all the oxygen, and it apparently suffocates you. Yeah, no, I'm still alive. I sleep with a fan on every night. It's freaking hot here. It's Canada. Of course it's hot. We're like 6 inches away from the equator. Obviously. You can tell by all the snow that we don't have outside right now. Here's a photo of what it's like outside right now. Number 5. Nishi. Indian legend tells of a ghostly being that stalks its prey, calling out for it by name. It uses the voice of the victim's loved ones to try to entice the victim into turning around. Once the victim turns to face the voice, they soon find out that it belongs to Nishi. The only way to defeat this being and deny it the death that it very much wants to deliver to you is to let it call your name 3 times and only answering on the 3rd call. Number 4. Korean superstition states that writing someone's name in red ink is an indication that the person is going to die or is already dead. It's common for funeral homes in Korea to write the deceased's name in red ink. Number 3. Pontianak. I hope I pronounced that right, Pontianak. Please tell me I pronounced that right. It's a being from Indonesian mythology said to be the spirit of pregnant women who died. This particular entity is believed to be primarily on the hunt for men, and are normally depicted as beautiful pale-skinned women. It's said that you can tell how close one is when you hear the sound of a baby crying. The softer the cry, the louder it is. It's said that you can tell how close one is when you hear the sound of a baby crying. It's meant to be the softer the cry, the closer the being is. And there's also something about dogs if dogs are barking or howling. There's something to do with dogs somewhere in there. This being kills its victims by ripping into their bodies and pulling out their entrails with its hands, very Freddy Krueger-like. It's said to do far worse to men that it kills for the purpose of revenge. Perfect inspiration for a good horror flick, I think. Oh wait, there is one. Number 2. Cosmetic Sesame. This is a tale warning everyone the dangers of trying to look too perfect. See, beauty is a very corrupting concept that can lead us to do very strange, unorthodox things, such as putting cucumbers on our faces. But this is something far more disturbing than that, and not as delicious because you can't eat the cucumber slices. But this is something far more disturbing than that, and not as delicious because you can eat the cucumber slices afterwards. I'm sorry, cucumbers are amazing. This legend features a young girl who was worried about her skin getting old and wrinkled. She was the type of person that would try every method she could to make herself look prettier. And she heard from someone that if she were to put sesame seeds in the water of her bath, it would improve her skin. The girl tried this method right away, but after a few hours in the tub, she refused to come out. I get that way too. Bathing is oddly enjoyable sometimes. She'd only say, "Just a moment," when someone tried to enter. Her mother grew suspicious and forced open the bathroom door. Then she saw that an innumerable amount of sesame seeds had attached themselves between every small wrinkle and every pore, and had started to grow roots. Her daughter seemed like she had lost her mind and was frantically trying to remove the seeds with a toothpick. I don't know if she got them all out, but this urban legend is making me seriously reconsider my girlfriend's pet name of Sesame Seed. Number 1. The Ghost of Belete Drive. The Philippines is a place we don't often go, but to end this list proper, we need a good old tale to tell folks to be wary of who they give a ride to, whether they're aware of who's riding with them or not. There's a road in this country called Belete Drive, which is something I hope I pronounced right, which is reported to be haunted with the spirits of long-dead Spanish homeowners since the time of Spanish colonization. The most famous case, and the case most reported, is the story of a white lady frequently being seen in that site, according to a famous Philippine urban legend. The most famous and reported case is the story of a white lady frequently being seen in that site, according to a famous Filipino legend. There are a variety of origins to this legend, but we'll talk about one in particular. The white lady is rumored to have been a student at the University of the Philippines. While she was on her way home on Belete Drive, she was picked up by a taxicab driver. The driver, expecting her to pay, decided to take something much more valuable than just money. After raping and killing her, he left her in the area. It is said she haunts cab drivers out of a desire for revenge. It is rumored that solitary drivers will see a young woman's face in the rearview mirror, only to see nobody in the back seat when they go to look behind them. It is thought that this attributes to many of the car-related deaths that happened on this road. This does conclude our time together, and I did so very much enjoy it. Perhaps even more than you did. If you can't sleep, perhaps try rewatching the video, or watch this one on scary Japanese myths. I know the thought of a ghostly girl dragging her broken body and hunting down unsuspecting victims only to cleave them in half certainly does help me sleep better at night. So yeah, a little bit of an end slate here. You can go, I'll have my Silly Laws video, like, up in the left corner, and, you know, to the right, maybe, you know, you can go watch mattRlive's videos. One of them, I don't know, he's editing this, so he can go watch his videos. You can go watch his videos. He watches his videos all the time, but, you know, everyone does. Everyone does it, you know, it's like pot, everyone's doing it. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing this video. It was hard. It was so hard to do. This is the hardest video I've ever had to do, because I had to do countless hours of research, and even then, I would find a good lead, and then all of a sudden, dead. Just cold. And I couldn't find any more information on certain subjects. The one that I was most interested in was, and I plan on doing an actual video on this later. I plan on including it in a video later. The story is called The Girl in the Mango Tree, or something like that, and I couldn't find a lot of information on it. But the name just sounded so fascinating to me, so I wanted to know more about it. And I couldn't find any information on it. It's an Indian urban legend, by the way, so I know this video is filled with a lot of Chinese and Korean urban legends, and that's because those are the easiest to find. So I think as these videos go on, I want to hear about urban legends that you grew up with. You know, strange, like, maybe your grandparents told you them, or maybe you had a friend that told you them, or, you know, whatever. I don't care what part of the world you're from. Just, you know, talk about some sort of urban legends you heard about, maybe as a kid, maybe as a teenager. Maybe, you know, you're sitting there in your office, at work, or you're in, like, the lounge room at work, and you're just, like, swapping tales with a buddy. I do that a lot, actually. Me and my friends, me and my sister too, we talk a lot about urban legends. That's something that really fascinates us, because there's reports of it, there's evidence that people have seen these things, but there's no evidence that these things actually exist. And I think finding out whether or not they're true is what makes them most interesting. So even if they're not true, it's the whole finding out if they're true or not that makes them so fascinating. I find that when something isn't true, it makes it much more fascinating, to be honest. Because, like, okay, so say, like, someone told you that rain was really, like, flying gerbils pissing on you. And, like, obviously it's not true, but someone tells you that as a kid, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's interesting at least. It's not true, clearly, but it's interesting. So that's sort of what I take away from these urban legends, is that they're very fun. They're fun to talk about, they're fun to exchange. Some of these are very strange. I love them. The strangest one, let me just look at the list here. I just recorded the video and I don't even remember much of it, because I kind of sped through it because I'm in a bit of a hurry today, and I don't have time later in the week. So, the one that I found the most interesting, to be honest, was Namco Terrace, because I am a sucker for ghosts. I love ghosts. I'm deep into supernatural shit. Like, not the whole studying of it, but, like, I want to know if ghosts are real. I don't think they are. They could be. I'm totally open to the idea of it, but that is a place I would love to go to. Just, not on my own, because ghosts be scary, yo. So, yeah, anyways, I want to do a video eventually. I know I'm asking a lot of you guys, but I want to start sharing horror stories. You know, like, really good ones. So, if you guys have any good horror stories, I will include my email right in the description. You can find that way down in the description. It's like the last line. And I want you guys to send me the scariest true stories that you guys have experienced, if you've experienced any. If not, you know, maybe you have a friend that went through some really creepy or something like that, you know? So anyways, I'm going to leave you guys because I think this has gone on way too long. And I have a bad habit of doing that. Oh my god. I could talk for hours. That is like the most, no, I'll just let you guys go. Have a good day.